Alright, so today we have the fourth and final K7000 for the same person. I have not opened the box. I don't know what the issue is, but like the rest of them, there should be a note inside that says what's wrong. So let's see what's going on with this one. Oh. Well, that's plain and simple. Dead. So let's see what we got. Nothing else in the box. And well, these have all been wrapped kind of not haphazardly, but I don't know what one thin piece of bubble wrap will help protect. It might as well not be bubble wrapped at all, but I guess better than nothing. So we'll put that away. Neck board. Yeah. Let's make sure we don't have any potentiometer casualties. And first thing I see is that somebody has cut the frame ground, and it originally went right there because here's the other ground coming off the neck board right here. So I'll have to see if I can crimp on a new terminal lug to put on there. And yeah, okay, well, let's look at the pots here. This one has the P723 riser board. I believe it's for a vertical mod, but I'm not exactly sure what that mod does, but it doesn't really affect anything. So there's a bipolar cap that gets installed here, along with a diode and a couple of resistors and a capacitor. So I think it has to do with the vertical deflection modification, but I'm not 100% sure what this actual board does. But it doesn't matter, it's not going to affect it being dead. It looks like someone has replaced most of the caps, but we'll redo the cap kit anyway because they requested that. Okay, the pots all appear to be intact. Well, that's a win. Any broken pots on the neck board? No, those are all okay. Let's put them all to center. Wipe them back and forth a bit. Put them all to center. Alright, so to avoid flipping this around and breaking pots, I'm going to just disconnect it and we'll hook it back up before we do our testing. And I think I'll do the same thing for the neck board here. It's never been off? No, it's been off. I don't know why. Maybe it hasn't. That's a tough one to get off. There we go. Alright. Now let's disconnect this. Oh, that's nice. That plastic broke, but shouldn't be a problem. And then we disconnect this one off of here, and the neck board should be loose after we get the focus wire out. Okay, that should do it. Need to cut that. And there we go. Neck board is now free, so we'll set that aside. Now we can see if we can figure out why it's dead. Flyback's got a couple of cracks in it, but nothing too severe. I've seen them operate with much worse. There's a crack right across here and right in here. And then one starting to form over here, but I don't see it arcing or any evidence, so it's probably okay. Everything appears to be intact. I don't see any bulging caps. I don't see anything missing, so let's flip it over and see what the bottom side looks like. Well, yeah, I'm concerned about why these are sticking up so high. That and this off of this guy right here. This assembly of cap and resistor. It's kind of far out there, so we'll clip those off, but just giving this a good look over here, this appears to be in good shape. I would say it's untouched, other than the fact the caps have been replaced. But whoever did it did a really good job cleaning up afterward, and there's no evidence of any rework on this at all that I can see. It's in completely untouched condition. We still have the hot spots here that need rework, and R101 of course, but it's not lifted or damaged or anything like that. I don't see any reason visually. I don't see any reason visually, other than maybe this right here, that would keep this from powering up. So we definitely obviously have a failed component. We do have slight. No, it's connected. I was going to say on R104 right here, it does look like there's some very thin, possible cracked solder joints here, but they're not. It's not that bad. Yeah, right there. But it's not loose. So let's just go through and do the normal testing that we do to see what would cause a dead chassis. The fuse is intact. Let's ohm it out or do a continuity test on it and verify it. You can't trust a fuse just visually. You always want to use a meter and check it out. So we'll just make sure the meter leads are good and fuses, yeah. So let's go through and do testing. If nothing tests bad, I don't see anything solder joint wise that would keep it from firing up just initially. Nothing obvious. There is the heatsink is cracked. The heatsink is cracked for the vertical IC, but that's not going to affect anything. You can see right here. It's see if I can. Well, regardless, that heatsink is cracked, but that's not going to play a factor really in anything. Just cracked support joint. Well, let's do some testing and see what we can find here real quick. So we'll start with the HOT, obviously. Go to diode, and we'll go center negative, and each leg should be 0.45. 4.8, and each chassis is a bit different. 4.85. So HOT appears to be okay. Voltage regulator, negative on pin 3, positive pin 4 should be around 1.15. 153. Voltage regulator should be okay. This may come down to a bad solder joint or bad trace. So this should be 180 ohms, 179, usually close to it. Yeah, 180. So that's all okay. Let's check. R97 should be 270 ohms. Yeah. R101 should be around 5K in circuit. Yeah, 4.8, 4.9. R89 should be 3.9, 3.7, okay. R96 should be 1.8. Yeah, 1.8K, 1.75. R88 should be 1.8, and yeah, 1.843. R104 is 15 ohms. Yep. R103 should be 2.7. So if we just go to the back here and 2.7. Okay, well, that's an interesting one. We can check C38, make sure it's not shorted, which it's not. Otherwise, the fuse will blow. D18. D18, okay. We'll go the other way. There we go. Yep, 0.483. D18 is good. Yeah, well, that's a good one. I can't say. So I think we should verify the discrepancy. Because, oh, you know what? These caps may be original. This may be 100% original. These are just not, I'm not used to seeing the green caps on here, and this one looks different, and this one looks different. These don't look like factory caps. But now that I see this, they absolutely are factory caps. Look at the glue on here. That's original. That's original. This has never been touched. That's why it looks so good on the bottom, is this is a completely untouched original 7000. Wow. Okay, well, I just noticed that. So, yeah, I don't see any reason really why it would be dead. All the power components check good, resistors. You know, the diodes for the rectifier circuit aren't shorted or the fuse would go out. So unless we have a bad cap or a bad flyback, or we have a heated pad or trace that is not connected to the circuit anymore, it should power up. Let's check these traces here. So this is a high heat area, and sometimes underneath this pad it'll oxidize and it won't carry the voltage off from the flyback. So if we just go here to here, okay, that one's good. That's good, good. 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 That comes down here to here. That's good. R101, that's good. That's okay. That's okay. Well, I tell you what. Let's fix. This all seems fine here. So let's just go ahead and fix this. Joint here off of the heatsink. The heatsink absorbs a lot of the heat, obviously, so you have to hold the iron on there for a little bit for it to heat up. And I'm at 800 degrees Fahrenheit, so just waiting for it to blend in here a bit. Man, that heatsink really does its job. So I think that, there we go. I think that'll work for now. So let's just hook it all back up and turn it on and see what happens here. So let's back out here and hook our neck board back up. Should be quick and easy. This will go there. This will go here. That'll go there. This will go here. And we're gonna have to figure out how to get this reconnected to the frame. I guess just for now, I'll replace that lug, this broken or cut off lug later, but for now, let's just zip the wire under the head of the bolt here, which that'll work for now. Okay, I think we're all hooked back up. Let's get it on a tube and verify if it's dead or not. Because if it's not dead, then we can just recap it, change the flyback, reflow, and be done. If it is dead, then we'll have to troubleshoot from that point. But it's possible, you know, unless you find something obvious like a broken joint or missing component or bulging capacitor or giant crack in the flyback or something, If nothing is obvious and everything passed the test, like we just tested everything in the power circuit that should keep it from operating under normal circumstances, if all that's good, then you have to verify the discrepancies the next step, because you don't want to spend hours and hours chasing stuff if it turns out that it was operator error, or if someone didn't hook up the power properly, or if the input to their chassis was dead from, if they had a bad transformer, who knows. So let's just get a tube and hook it up and verify that it's actually dead, and kind of go from there, because I don't see anything visually or electrically or component-wise speaking bad. So we'll do that, and I'll come right back and we'll test it out and see what we find. All right, so we're back on the U5000 tube. I've mentioned before this will work just fine. I got the foam there as an insulator. I have everything hooked up: anode, neck, yoke, ground, power, video, remote. We have our test pattern generator to turn on just in case it does operate. We can get a signal, see what it looks like. So let's turn that on. The power is hooked up rather precariously because there's no connector, but everything's separate and should work and all hooked up. So, all right, I am plugged in, so we should have 115 feeding the chassis. So let's see if it's operator error or if in fact it does not turn on. 1, 2, 3. Comes right on. It does sound a bit odd though. Does it work? And it works. Vertical hold. There it is. Contrast way too high. Brightness way too high. Well, it works. H position. It's way too wide. We'll go right there. Vertical position. Right there. Vertical size. Right there. Well, I don't know. The label said dead, but testing indicated that it shouldn't be dead, and it is in fact not dead. So that's why it's important to verify the discrepancy before you go diving in and causing more problems than you need to worry about. Well, I guess I'll cap it, fly back, reflow, everything we normally do, and call it done. I don't understand if maybe they didn't have the proper voltage feeding the chassis, if their transformer's dead, if the fuse in the cabinet was bad. I don't know, but for me, it fires right up just the way it came out of the box, and it is in fact not dead. So I'll do all the rework, come back to give it one more test and a burn in, and we'll call this one a quick and easy, well, not really a fix, but quick and easy servicing. So stand by, I'll come right back and have all the rework done, and we'll test it one more time. All right, and there we have it. Full cap kit, full reflow, everything is done, full inspection, reworked everything, got everything on the bottom cleaned up. I got my bridge there for R101 on both sides like I normally do, and everything touched up and looking good. So we are ready to test it, give it one final test, make sure it's all good. The owner, I contacted him, he said go ahead and leave this flyback in because the two cracks I showed are very minor. They're not actually through the casing, and otherwise it's in very good condition. So I suggested leaving this in here and he agreed. I've got a couple of chassis that I've rebuilt myself that I use on a daily basis at the arcade that I had a similar situation. The flyback was original, but it was in good shape, so I left it in there. Still running great, so I would recommend leaving that in there, and he agreed, so we did that. And it's ready for a final test here. So let's get it back on the tube and put it through its paces, make sure it's all good. And this will be a nice, quick, and easy, again, I say rebuild because it wasn't really a repair. So let's see how it turns out. Okay, all hooked up again. Anode, neck, yoke, ground, power, video, remote. And I did get that terminal lug replaced there for the frame ground, so that's good. And let's turn it on, make sure I didn't make any mistakes, and see how good we can make this look. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so far so good. Let's get it on the tripod here, and how come we don't have any signal? And how come my camera's out of focus? There we go. Well, it doesn't like that. Let's leave it like that for a minute. come we don't... Ah, okay, well, I think I adjusted the flyback down a bit by accident. Let's try, black level down, contrast down. And let's do flyback up. Well, it's going to be precarious because I got those exposed AC connections there on the jumpers. Let's hit flyback a bit. Right there. And obviously we're using the Mortal Kombat board again here. There we go. Okay, so brightness. So flyback is set. Brightness needs to be about there. Contrast right about there. Let's hit the focus. There we go. Glorious. All right. Let's zoom in a little bit. All right. Nice position. Go right there. All right, here we go. Yeah, not bad. There you go. I think it's way too wide. Let's give it some credits. And select our pal Kano there. And let's see if we can adjust our width. Wow, this is going on here. Yeah, a bit too wide. That's better. Okay, right about there is good. And colors are kind of abysmal, but that's a bit better. Let's bring our size down. Yeah, I'd say we got a success. Colors need adjusted, but like I say all the time, it's not staying on this tube and all that jazz. It's too green, so let's turn our green down a bit. That's better. Let's turn our blue up slightly. That's pretty good there. All right. Not too bad. So there you go. Quick and easy, again, not a repair, quick and easy rebuild, and we are successful. Now, I don't have any idea why it was labeled as dead. I don't even know you can read it. Yeah. I have no idea. Like I say, maybe it was operator error. Maybe they didn't have the connector hooked up right. Maybe they got a problem on their actual cabinet. But regardless, it worked for me. We got the rebuild done, and it's working great. So I'm going to give it its normal time to burn in, and we'll send it back to the owner, and that's a successful repair for all 4 of his 7000s. I'm sure he'll be happy, and I've got 2 more in some boxes here behind me, and as well as a K7000. So, like I say every time, there's never an end to the content in sight. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.